Devs, the Hulu FX. I guess it's FX on Hulu.
Right. Produced by FX on Hulu.
Yeah. First one that they've really put out like that, I believe. And from Alex Garland, director of Ex Machina and Annihilation. Mm-hmm. Also, like I've been a writer of some pretty good movies in the past.
Wrote The Beach.
Yep. And 28 Days Later, some really respected person in his field. Directing this, oh man, I don't even know exactly how to describe it. I think
mini series.
Yeah, it's a mini series, but I think describing the genre of it, I mean, it's mysterious right now. It seems like it's partly action, partly mystery, partly sci-fi. There's a lot going on in the first two episodes that were dropped on Hulu last week, and I think what I'm most taken by, and we'll probably talk a little bit more in depth about, is the style of the show and the look of this show, but also like I feel like so much and so little happens in the plot, and I'm so confused as to like what is actually happening in some of these scenes that, man, I'm just intrigued. Like that's the best way to put it for me. I'm so intrigued by what's going to happen with the show and what visually we're going to be seeing. You got to be watching. How are you feeling about Devs in the first two episodes?
Oh yeah, man. I'm of course totally in. Alex Garland is just someone I think just deserves tons of admiration. He's directing all 8 episodes of this. He wrote all 8 episodes of this. He was also the cinematographer. He is one of those true sci-fi auteurs we've got of late, you know. Ex Machina was on my decade movie list. Annihilation, my 2018 movie list. I love his work, and I also am really intrigued by Devs as well through 2 episodes for the same reason. His vision is just so stark, you know. He's an effect on, you know, what he's trying to do. And I think in terms of a TV comp right now, I'm almost thinking of like something like Maniac. You know, Maniac even had a little bit more plot, but ultimately it was like Cary Fukunawa's vision that you found most tangible early going. Like I see that there's a steady hand right now that's really trying to do something specific. Even if I don't know exactly what that is right now, I think we have a good enough track record in Garland's case to have a lot of faith. Yeah. And, you know, at the end of the day, there's just amazing visual after amazing visual. Think of like the gold box that is the machine in the Devs facility early on, the first episode, stuff like that. It's just always engaging. Garland is always someone who doesn't really waste any of his frames, you know?
No.
And that's just something I find really, really intriguing. So yeah, really, really excited about this.
Yeah, and I went into this doing very little research about it, because I kind of wanted to be surprised, but also knowing, like you said, this is a creator and auteur that we can trust to deliver something interesting and quality. So, you know, in the first episode, you have Carl Glusman playing, I forgot his name, and he's this coder, works at this like Apple like company, you know, Google like company, and called Devs, and you think it's going to kind of follow his journey into Devs and what they're creating.
The company is named something else. Was it Onway or something? Devs is like his project at the company, right?
Devs is the project at the company, and he's at the end of the episode killed. You know, like, or not even the end of the episode, like middle of the episode, and it totally takes a shift into being about his girlfriend. I'm looking up her name right now.
Played by Sonia Mizuno, who was in Ex Machina, of course.
Yep. And her name is Lily. She's the main character, and kind of her like unraveling the story, you know, against Nick Offerman, who plays Forrest. And it's of Amaya.
Got it.
Place. He's the CEO of Amaya, and kind of like his team, he has his thug who's like the security guy. He's got like his right hand person. Was it Kaylee Spaney?
Yeah,
from like Newsroom and things like that.
Yeah, Allison Pill. Yes.
Yeah, Allison Pill. Sorry, it's Katie. So there's a lot of like really quality actors in here, but just like the way it kind of spun things on me, and then it's kind of becoming like this, also like a spy noir show kind of in the second one. She goes to meet with the handler for um for Sergei's, like, I don't know, Russian inner workings, and then
Yes.
there's a whole showdown that I think is set really beautifully between the security guy and him. There's just so many like scenes that stand out, images that stand out, and at
Yep.
the center of it, I'm like, what the hell is Debs? Like, that shit looks interesting as hell. It looks like you can see Jesus and the two people he's put on the cross with in one scene with what they're developing. It's potentially looking at like being able to like see things that happened in the past or relive memories vividly. It's pretty crazy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that again just kind of speaks to Garland's strengths, where he challenges the viewer. He lures you in with talent and strong writing and memorable visuals, but he challenges you with his themes and his storytelling choices. That I think that's very, very obvious in something like Annihilation, but he's something like Ex Machina, which has a lot of existential questions to it,
Mm-hmm.
And Oscar Isaac's character in Ex Machina, I think, is a pretty obvious analog for Nick Offerman in Devs. Kind of the eccentric, almost reclusive,
Yes.
genius, wealthy, famous inventor person.
Yep.
So it's kind of Jared Leto and Blade Runner 2049. It's a pretty common archetype, but you can write it a lot of different ways, especially when you get someone who can cast someone who can be very neurotic, like Oscar Isaac or Nick Offerman. I think honestly, Nick Offerman, you wouldn't think of casting in something sci-fi adjacent off the bat, but yeah, honestly, at least in the beginning, seems like a really great choice for this kind of character.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited about that. And Tony Mizuno, I'm not really familiar with a lot of her other stuff besides her Garland collaborations, but I think the fact that Alex picked someone he had previously worked with in a lesser capacity for this role, I think speaks volumes. And I'm also excited about Allison Pill just because I feel like she was someone who, coming off the newsroom, I was excited to see more from her. And I feel like she's been around, but we haven't had that like great next role from her,
Yep.
So I'm hoping this is a good supporting presence from her as well.
Yeah, I think Offerman, like you said, was a really inspired choice, because when you think of him, you think of Parks and Rec, right? And
Of course.
you think of him playing this comedian. He's done a lot of shows with his wife, Megan Mullally, and it's just he's this funny guy, and then he kind of comes into this and has such like a serious, brooding, like you said, eccentric side to him, and I think that just adds to the mystery. Like, you want to know what happened to him, why he is the way he is, what really drives him as a character. And it seems like it might be the death of his daughter, but there's definitely a lot more to explore. So I'm all in on Depth. I can't wait to watch episode 3 and just keep moving forward with this.
Hell yeah, man! And I think the FX on Hulu, play, I think is interesting. But I'm actually kind of excited about when Disney bought Fox, they also got FX, and FX I think is pretty widely known to TV fans as a consistent harbinger of incredible television. Of course, the home of Atlanta, most famously, but the fact that now their shows are much more accessible to people by being on something widely subscribed to like Hulu, you're no longer required to have a cable login, or pay a little bit for the FX app, So I think this is exciting, and John Landgraf, I think, is probably going to be happy about this too, because he has a way to get his shows in front of more people. So this is cool.